Hello, boys and girls. So, weather report for today. Did I get the date right? 27th? Hang on a second.
Hello, boys and girls.
Oh, my goodness, I'm going to echo. Okay, so what's happening out there? Yesterday, we had a debate on modern day debate between Nephilim and Amy. And then we had an after show on Nephilim Free's channel, and it was all very interesting. They had the usual, I found out that one thing theists really don't like is anti-theism. Let me put a link in the chat. I don't think we have anybody watching yet, so it really doesn't matter, does it? But Ian, if you want to come in, if you aren't under a palm tree somewhere on some beach, or anybody that wants to come in, I've opened it up. But these debates were pretty interesting, and the after shows were even more interesting. The theists had this continual song about, oh, you just want to hate God, or you just want to sin, or some bullshit like that, or it threatens your worldview, or whatever. But they just miss the mark in so many different ways. Like, I'm an anti-theist. It has anti-theist and an atheist. My atheism has nothing at all to do with evolution or science. It has to do with more philosophical concerns and with naturalism, which I justify in different ways. We have Leo. And my anti-theism has to do with these assholes, the creationists. And let's stop mincing words. They're idiots and they're assholes, right? They shit on almost all of science. I mean, they have to somehow redefine 90% of science: geology, physics, biology. They haven't touched chemistry yet, but I'm sure they'll get to that. But they have to crap on all of that. And the fact that they're doing that is why I'm an anti-theist. One of the reasons I'm an anti-theist. Basically, all theism, even not just creationists, but all theists have this idea that the mind is immaterial in some fashion. And that belief is keeping us from looking at the actual neuroscience of the structure of our minds, which I think is the best hope for making a better humanity. So anyway, so what do you think, Leo? You anti-theist or?
No.
Why?
I'm anti-intellectual, but I'm not an anti-theist. Because I don't think there's something inherently wrong with being a theist.
Well, if you're a theist, you pretty much have to believe in an immaterial mind, right?
Not necessarily.
Well, okay. What kind of theism would not?
A theism I used to be.
Deist? Like a deist?
No. The difference between theism is deism. You can be generally a theist, where you believe that there is some sort of God out there, but you don't believe that any particular it's a God of any particular religion, and that it does interfere into the happenings, I guess you could say, of human lives. Deism, the only difference between deism and theism is the nature of the God. So in theism, the God in some way, shape, or form is active in human affairs. In deism, it's not. It just created the universe, might watch over it, but doesn't generally interfere with it. You can believe that life arose naturally, that life evolved naturally, that the human mind is entirely a product of the physical brain, and still believe. Like, this is the thing with a lot of this stuff. You can believe wholly in science and still be a theist.
Okay, but then you wouldn't believe in interfering God.
Well, I mean, you can, and if you believe that that God interferes, but you can't measure it because the way that God interferes would appear to us to be natural, yeah.
But how would God interfere?
I know people that believe this, that would say that what abiogenesis, for instance, because we were talking about this a few weeks ago, and he said, I believe abiogenesis is 100% natural. I still believe that God guided it. The thing is that if God ever does anything in reality, that, from our perspective, would look natural. So
if God cured your cancer, he would basically inspire your immune system to activate and
something like that. Yeah. And that's why he says, I don't believe it's okay to attribute these sorts of miracles and things to God, because you can't really show that God did it because it's going to look natural. But he says, if somebody wants to believe that God directly did it, they go ahead and do that.
Yeah. So we call that kind of a light touch theism.
I just call it theism.
Light touch.
Most people hear theism and they think of religion. You can be theist without being religious.
Right. But I mean, that would be a really light touch because you couldn't even tell that God was doing it. I don't know. But still, it believes in, some immaterial, it still believes in an immaterial mind as God.
There is some supernatural aspect.
Which leads them to believe
preternatural.
That we have a soul, or that we have some immaterial part of us, or that somehow we are special in the universe.
Potentially, yes.
I think believing that we are special in the universe is just the worst of hubris. I mean, it is just the most ridiculous.
It's human arrogance. That's the arrogance of humans.
Oh my God! And I mean that arrogance spreads to arrogance of classes and races, and it is inherently racist. Basically, they would consider aliens probably animals. Or maybe they'd make a special dispensation for them that because they were intelligent aliens and they could fly here, that they would say, "Oh, God rubber stamped them too." But what if they look like fucking reptilian octopi? What is the plural of octopus?
Octopi or octopode.
Octopode.
Octopodes. I think octopode is something I don't know.
Yeah.
So I don't do taxonomy.
What if they look just like gross, weird things with, eight eyes and cross between spiders and crabs or some goddamn thing? Would they still stamp them, or would they not consider them ordained by God?
I have no idea. I don't believe in God, so I don't. And even when I did believe in God, if I'm speaking from my perspective when I was a theist, and if I were to still be a theist, it's still going to differ drastically from most, at least Christian theists.
Yeah.
Because I was never homosexuality is bad, that hell is even an actual whatever people actually think that it is, because that's not what it is. Judaism and Christianity didn't originally teach that hell is this inferno where you burn. It was just complete and utter separation from God.
Yeah, so I'm not even sure if I want to bring this up, but the debate with Amy last night in the after show, there's somebody called Eon Tactics. Do you know who this one is? Or Eon?
Nope.
Do you know who that is?
Nope.
Okay, so Eon Tactics says, now Amy has never said anything about transgenderism or anything, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not saying this is correct, but I have the feeling Amy is anti-theist because of his feelings about homosexuality and transgender. And that's what this asshole said on Nephilim Free's broadcast last night. And then
I don't know. I watched much of that debate, to be completely honest. When I saw that Nephilim Free was in it, I was just like, this isn't going to be much of a discussion.
Well, the after show, there were a few things that Nephilim said that were pretty interesting, like his idea that God, this bullshit about, I wonder if I should play some of it. He goes on about how without God, without these commandments, the nakedness of thy father or the nakedness of thy mother shalt thou not uncover. She is thy mother, thou shalt not uncover her nakedness. Those thou things. I don't know where the fuck
there are some people I want to uncover naked, but it's not my mother.
I know. And there's a whole bunch of people, like your brother's wife, you're not supposed to uncover her nakedness, or your daughter-in-law. She is thy son's wife, thou shalt not uncover her. They go on and on about nakedness. And then Neff makes the case that, makes the case that without Christianity, there would be all this uncovering of nakedness and raping of children.
Like debauchery, pretty much. The whole of Christianity didn't exist. The world would have devolved into a debaucherous, sinful, fucking horrid place. Yeah, which is the dumbest thing ever.
He's talking about the evil of basically the good and evil thing, where people will push back on God for wanting to kill all these people who uncover nakedness and do other sinful things. And Nephilim kind of agrees that, you know, God is a harsh master, and he said, thou shalt kill them. Thou shalt seek them out and kill them. But he starts out doing it in reference to people who sacrifice children, you know, which we can kind of get behind the death sentence for people that, you know, sacrificed a child, right? But then he kind of extends it to all of these softer morals like homosexuality and whatever. And by extension, he kind of implies that the good Lord shall kill them too, I think.
Yeah, I can't get behind killing anybody for any crime. Not because it's not justified, but because the state shouldn't be delegated that much power.
Well, yeah.
You have to remember, I'm a libertarian socialist.
Yeah.
So reduction of both bourgeois and state power, because they're almost always inextricably intertwined, is like my main goal. I don't believe in hierarchical structures.
Yeah, I've softened on the death sentence myself in the last 5 or 10 years, oddly enough.
Most people who support the death penalty only do so out of they're reactionaries. It's a reaction to seeing terrible things.
Yeah.
And once we think about things in a reactionary manner, we lose our humanity.
I think it lets them off too easy to kill them. I don't know, but I kind of like the idea. I kind of like the way they killed Ted Bundy, though. That was interesting. I mean, if you're going to kill these people as a punishment, you really should put them in an electric chair and cook them, because otherwise, just leave them in a fucking cell. I don't know. It's kind of a tough one. But the problem with that is Texas is probably kills 10 people a year that are innocent.
Well, of course, the death penalty was coming into the mid 1900s, so like 1930s, 40s, 50s, 60s. The death penalty was used mainly as a way of killing people that were generally black or brown that they knew were innocent, so that they could get rid of the black and the brown people.
Yeah. Here's Manny Karen. So, what do you think of me being an anti-theist? My theist friend, what do you think of my anti-theism?
I'm not an atheist, but I am very much anti-religion.
Okay.
Like, religion sucks. So
yeah.
Religion is just another hierarchy designed for controlling masses of people.
Exactly.
And then extorting money from them.
I'm going to try my camera again. My camera has been freezing on StreamYard, and I don't know why. And it's also delayed. I'm looking at myself talking, and I'm not talking. I don't know what's wrong with it. Oh, God. I'm going to do this for John Peterson.
Yeah, this is the way that it has to be.
Oh, shit. Did I invite John?
Did you?
All religions come up with these weird ass rules and really weird concepts, and like if you look at the Tanakh, the Old Testament, there's no mention of souls, there's no mention of heaven or hell. None of that appears in the Old Testament. Like, they had a very, very physical universe to live in. And you go to your fathers when you die. That's it. You are gathered unto your fathers. There's nothing else there. And then in the New Testament, you have all of a sudden all these supernatural planes of existence or whatever. Where did you come up with this stuff?
Yeah,
like made of whole cloth. You know.
So when did that stuff happen historically? Heaven and hell and all of that. I mean,
depends on which concept of them you're referring to.
But we had Dante's Inferno. Did he actually write?
Later.
What's that?
That's Italy. That's like much newer than that.
Yeah, but when did like the ideas of heaven and hell and burning in the lake of fire kind of meant dying, right?
I can tell you that the idea of Gehenna, that comes from something in the Old Testament, but it wasn't a place in another world. It was a place right up close to Jerusalem.
Okay.
So they were told, I don't remember which prophet says they were sacrificing children, their firstborns, to the god Moloch. And they were doing it in a place called Gei Ben Hinnom, the valley of the son of Hinnom, which is just next to Jerusalem. It's a valley. And later on, Gei Ben Hinnom became Gehenom, which is our word for hell.
Okay.
But it was all a prophecy about, I think it was an Assyrian king who will come and conquer you, and he will burn you in Gei Ben Hinnom as you have burnt your firstborns.
Yeah, and that's what Nephilim was talking about, I think.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with any kind of supernatural place or lakes of fire or nothing.
So when did the hell concept become popular in Christianity?
I honestly don't know enough.
I wonder how much of it was basically like around, Dark Ages after 1000.
I suppose it was also affected by Christianity meeting the Greeks.
Yeah.
Who had like the Elysian Fields and Tartarus and Hades. I think that's where they started coming up with this idea of other worlds. But again, I'm guessing. I don't know hardly anything about Christianity. So.
Oh shit! I've got to do something. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of an odd thing. I think it's been modified a lot in the last couple of 100 years too. Like creationism, I don't think that was that big a thing.
No, creationism didn't really become a big thing until I want to say like the very late 1800s, early 1900s, around that turn of the century.
Yeah, and it didn't become real popular in America, I don't think, until after 1970, 1980.
Oh, but creationism is like American. It's an American phenomenon.
Yeah, what the fuck is wrong with America?
Well, I know people that don't live in America that are creationists. I know a lot of people that don't live in. I mean, have you been to any of the Muslim countries?
Okay, so I can tell you also have Jews that are, or Jewish people that you would define as creationists, but creationism as this really, really organized movement, as a pretend science, a pseudoscience, is a very American thing.
Yeah, the thing about rewriting science.
Yeah.
I think you mean creationism more in terms of intelligent design, which, yes, is American. It was started by Michael Behe in, the 80s, I think?
I think it was earlier than that. Earlier than, was it Behe?
I don't remember when he wrote his book that brought in the concept of irreducible complexity.
Trial, which is way earlier than that.
The what trial?
The whole anti-evolution thing, the Scots trial.
I don't know. No, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, that was a
trial.
That was that was 1930? 1940?
Something like that. It's a trial basically where they try to get like evolution out of schools or into schools. I can't remember the details now.
Rio, you don't know about this? 1925. I mean, there's a movie depiction of it that's pretty famous, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was.
I want to say there was another one.
It's basically State of Tennessee versus John Thomas Scopes. The Scopes monkey trial, and that was in 1925, and he lost. Right? Yeah. They actually found in favor of.
Oh, McLean versus Arkansas Board of Education was the other one I was thinking of.
Yeah, but that's a very, very new one.
Yeah,
that's a very modern version, and intelligent design was. Yeah, that's where intelligent design basically lost and was
they
revealed
lost
as
three of them: McLean versus Arkansas Board of Education, Edwards versus Aguilard, and then Kitzmiller versus Dover.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Kitzmiller versus Dover is another very, very, very famous one.
And that's the one that who is a Christian testified against intelligent design.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
And pretty
Spencer
much said that like there's no possible way it could be true.
There was a movie in 1955. Let's see, what was it? Was it 1955? No, when was the movie? Inherit the Wind, 1960 film. Was it Inherit the Wind? Wow.
Could be. I think that's the name. Yeah.
Anyway, it's Spencer Tracy, and it was powerful. I watched it like in the 60s. I remember watching it, and I was like a crazy evolutionist back then.
Yeah,
I was a real bad evolutionist when I was a young boy. So
I don't recall ever not accepting evolution.
yeah.
I do have to be fair though, and say that when somebody comes and says that being LGBTQ or whatever initial you're gonna give it has to do with being an anti-theist or an anti-religionist,
Right.
I believe that does have an effect.
It has an effect.
It probably wouldn't be the only reason, but it does make you consider, wait a minute, I'm what I am, and these people are telling me that that's evil and they have absolutely no reason for it. And so it does affect the way you look at things.
Yeah, well, dogmatizing morality and to the point where you want to make it a law, where it crosses over to the legal system. And that's actually what a lot of Christians want to do. They want this to be a Christian nation.
They don't want it to be just a Christian nation. They want a literal Christo-fascist nation.
Right. They want it to enter Congress. So they want to stick their religious dick in Congress. And that's
where like, you know that homosexuality was illegal in many countries, including my country and yours, and in the States, I'm not sure which one, so I'm not going to name a state, but one of the states had sodomy laws.
Well, Minnesota still does. I think Minnesota still does.
Listen all the way. It included, I think, bestiality. What do you call it? Damn it, I forgot a word. With your relatives, help me out here. Thank you. Incest, homosexuality, and maybe something else. And they actually had the law redrawn or whatever, somewhere in the 70s or 80s, to remove incest and everything else, and bestiality, and leave only homosexuality as illegal.
Minnesota sodomy law, which has been in the book since the 1800s, prohibits both oral and anal sex between any adults. Penalties include up to a year in jail and $3,000 in fine. And there was some sheriff in some county north of here that actually tried to arrest somebody, like a couple. You know, like a husband.
I got some blowjobs that were worth $3,000.
But I think under Jesse Ventura, I think they may have shot it down finally for years.
I can tell you that if you are a Hebrew speaker, the word sodomite more or less does not exist. And when we say an act of Sodom is what we call it, sodomy, we call it an act of Sodom, we usually mean anal sex of any kind. It's not necessarily homosexuality. So it's very Christian to see sodomy as inherently homosexual, because it's not.
So I think Jesse Ventura spearheaded a repeal of that law in the Supreme Court, but I'm not sure how it came out. Let's see. The Civil Liberties Union sued on behalf of a lawyer and a divorced gay guy. I don't know. A lesbian attorney in Minneapolis, a married elementary school teacher in Minneapolis, a gay law student in Minneapolis, divorced gay man, Minneapolis. They all sued a whole bunch of people, and I believe they won and finally got the Sodomy Law in Minnesota struck down. But you can be arrested for oral sex with your wife or husband, which is...
In Israel, sex between men was illegal until the mid-'80s, but basically no one ever got prosecuted under that law. It was sort of like there were these regulations stating that it should not be upheld, even though it was in the law. So no one actually prosecuted it. Now, how much am I getting paid for a blowjob? I heard a price going
$3,000, I think. I don't know.
Okay, I can do that. Yeah,
we'll hook you guys up.
Okay, cool.
What? Wait, what?
You said $3,000, and yeah, sure, why not?
Well, I mean, I said I've had blowjobs that were worth $3,000. I can't speak for your abilities.
Oh, I can. I can.
Okay. You guys can work that out after the show.
I mean, like I wasn't sure what was going on there. You put your hand to the screen, like smell my finger or something. Like what?
No, do you know what that is? That's basically focusing my face because I go fuzzy with this camera. Right. So, and like if I'm doing this, that's all I'm really doing is focusing my face. So don't be concerned.
All right, I thought you were just telling me. Yeah, you were talking about Benny's abilities, and I thought you were like, "Well, here, smell my finger, man." Like,
we're not going.
Aren't you glad you sent me that invite, man?
Nope. Second guessing, reconsidering.
Yeah, I mean, you guys must be boring, man, because I got an invite at like 17 after. Like, I'm thinking, Speed falling apart, man.
It was a fucking afterthought. So I'm gonna try to do these. I'm gonna try to do these things at 2 p.m. every day. So the things that happened yesterday, I think Standing for Truth. But who the fuck Standing for Truth put up this this asshole from Australia? What was it? What is his name?
A what?
An asshole from Australia. Let's see, John McKay. Do you know about this guy?
Nope.
So Standing for Truth. These guys, the interesting thing is that the shows I tuned into that came out yesterday, several times they said, of course, evolution or science has disproved evolution. And of course, science has, proved creationism. And they're handing it out like it's a fucking fact. Like everybody agrees with it. And then the other thing they said is all scientists, there are no atheist scientists. And the thing is that Standing for Truth and Ramat and John Maddox and Otangelo are putting this shit out at such a high level of such a high level.
I can assure you
that let me finish.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
They are starting to believe their own rhetoric. They believe it's public, like everyone agrees with them, except for a few atheists on YouTube.
Which is horseshit. It's complete horseshit because here's the thing. I just saw a study, and it was done sometime in the last few years. It's like over 45% of the scientific community identifies non-believers. So that's complete horseshit.
And I think it's a lot higher than that as far as people that, identify as kind of agnostic, I think.
It depends on the branch you go in. If you go into like physics and chemistry and things like that, non-religiosity is higher than it is for, biology.
Yeah, I was saying overall, like the study I saw, it broke it down, like you said, Leo, it broke it down to where it was different fields And yeah, you're absolutely right. Some fields it was a little higher than others.
Physics will destroy your belief in God. Just ask me.
So I can tell you that here in Israel, if you go on religious Israeli YouTube, you will find people claiming that Israel is the last country to still be teaching evolutionary nonsense, and that the rest of the world has already debunked evolution. We're just behind.
Yeah.
So this idea of spreading that scientists are anti-evolution is something that people are copying off of each other, apologists from all religions. As for scientists being atheists, from what I gather, physics is in the lead. Biology comes in sort of second. And where you find the most theists is engineering.
Well,
Which
you know,
is not surprising.
The thing is, though, too, is you also have to add to that, there are many, many scientists who are religious and do believe in God, but they leave it at the door. Okay, they don't allow their religious apprehension to come into the science that they do.
But look at these numbers. 1/3 of scientists believe in God, and 18% believe in do not believe in God, but they believe in some spirituality or higher power. And then 41% don't believe, and 7% refuse to answer. So I mean, that's about half, that don't believe.
My favorite way of putting it was how Mortimer81 put it. If you study physics, it's not that you necessarily disbelieve in God. It's that if there is a God, he's unemployed. That's how he put it, and it's a very nice way of putting it. It's like he's like the Laplace thing. He's not necessary.
Makes God superfluous.
Yeah.
It's no different than stating, to me, arguing that there's something beyond the natural world is like arguing that, well, everything that we've learned about electromagnetism and electrodynamics and how it works is true, but we can go even further than that. It's all happening that way because of fairies. Like, sure, if you want to believe that, you can, but it is entirely superfluous and adds no further explanatory or predictive power to the model that we already have.
Well, you know what else too is that the minute that science discovers the supernatural, guess what?
It's not supernatural anymore, is it?
Right.
All I can say is, if anyone has yet to read The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, go read it right now. Do not watch the movie. The movie stinks. You can watch the original British version, which is basically the movie adapted into television, and it's like really weird theater, not so much television. But reading the book is the easiest way to go about it. And in that book, Earth is designed, but it has nothing to do with God. So it's really cool if you want to see how an atheist makes fun of all these silly arguments.
Did you say Sphinx?
Sorry?
What
was the name of the movie?
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yeah.
So he's talking about the book.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Or the movie. But don't watch the movie. Because
The one thing that I would
sucks. The movie
about
sucks.
creation is that the closest, the furthest that creation gets you, or intelligent design gets you, is that some extraterrestrial intelligence did it. The only argument against that is, well, then it becomes inexplicable who designed that form of life. But it doesn't matter. We're not talking about that form of life that we don't know anything about, and so we can't make any statements about it. We're talking about life here on Earth. If you're contending that it's intelligently designed, the furthest that can ever get you is some other extraterrestrial race did it.
So have you read, Leo, have you read the guide?
Nope.
Okay, you simply have to. You love it.
I don't think I will. I really don't.
in it, basically, our world was designed by pan-dimensional beings that appear to us as mice. And when the human hears this and says, "Oh, you've got it wrong. We were experimenting on the mice, not the other way around." And somebody says, "You were studying about humans through mice?"
The mice were studying.
And he figures out that the mice are so brilliant because they would actually make us behave differently by fudging our experiments. Yeah. They would electrocute themselves on purpose, and all of humanity would start acting a different way.
Man, why would I even have to read the book now?
Oh, you still should. You really, really should.
There's so much in the book.
It's absolutely brilliant.
You haven't read it, John?
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? No.
Yeah.
Oh, God. What is wrong with you people?
I know. It should be like standard reading.
I've never been into science fiction because of the fiction part.
It's not science fiction. The Hitchhiker's Guide is...
Wait a minute. Pan-dimensional beings that manifest as mice is not science fiction.
Neither is the infinite improbability drive or other ideas that he has there. It's not science fiction. It's a joke. It's a big joke.
Yeah, it's just a joke on corporate, basically corporations, the U.S. It's just good English humor. It's just fun all the way through.
Yeah, okay. And it started out as radio skits, basically.
Yeah,
it was just writing skits for radio, and then he collected them into a book. It's not science fiction. It's Douglas Adams, and his very, very unique insanity. He basically has this story that he was hitchhiking with the Hitchhiker's Guide to Europe, and he got to a city in Austria, I think, and he couldn't find a hotel. And he tried to locate the really, really cheap hotel from his book, and he's asking a person on the street. He figures out the person doesn't speak any English, but after a few moments, he realizes that the person is also deaf. The second person was deaf and dumb, and the third was deaf, dumb, and blind. And then he finally found his hotel, but there were no vacancies because there was a deaf and dumb convention in town, and all the rooms were let out to deaf and dumb people. So he spent the night in the field watching the stars, and he decided he would write a guide to hitchhiking through the galaxy, which would be just as useful as his guide to hitchhiking through Europe. He claims that's how he came up with the idea. On the other hand, it's Douglas Adams. You never know.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay, so SFB Mod, you know him, Joel.
Oh,
who doesn't know Joel?
Okay, he comes on and says, same reason to go over Einstein, Bohr, and Heisenberg's debate, probably to learn how wrong atheism is. And then he says, thinking Hitch became a Christian before he died. And what else does he come up? He comes up with some really good shit here.
I've heard Joel debating our friend Brenda on Discord. He's a complete moron.
He is a moron, yeah.
He basically tried to explain to her that she cannot possibly be an atheist because that automatically entails belief in God. Like, what? If you want to oppose God, you automatically have to believe in him.
My God, he
somehow claimed that was basic logic.
Yeah. Okay, he says, well, since supernatural forces have been considered scientific facts from NASA scientists and others for the last 40 years, his arguments were always false. Atheists always prove themselves wrong scientifically.
Where the fuck is this even at?
This is...
it's a 10-hour stream. That's got to be on Praise's channel.
No, it's on. It's on Praise's channel.
Okay.
It's, yeah, YouTube should start charging Praise extra. I think. Asshole. What else does he say? Okay, he became a scientist. He became a Christian. He just had.
Oh wait, that was an ad hom. I'll represent Praise. That was an ad hom.
Yeah.
And you're circular. And I'm going to list up a few more fallacies that I have absolutely no idea what they mean, but I'm going to list them anyway.
Yeah. I just wanted to say really quickly, William Lane Craig did win that debate.
With Hitchens?
Yeah.
I'll have to listen to it. How does William... What the fuck is winning a debate mean exactly?
It means that you presented a stronger case and were capable of more cogently defending it than your opponent was, and or that you were capable of deconstructing your other opponent's argument better than they were yours.
And fucking Craig deconstructed Hitchens?
Well, Hitchens didn't really present an argument. As much as I admired the guy, when it came to debating, he wasn't very good at it. He would kind of just get up there and monologue about how evil God is, how we shouldn't believe in him. Whereas William Lane Craig, whether you like the guy or not, is a very, very, very skilled debater.
Okay, here's one of my favorites by SFB Mod. Because atheism requires belief and a lack of evidence.
Yeah.
Joel just throws out these idiotic and completely anti-intellectual contrived platitudes that he thinks means something. That's like it's impossible to have a discussion with the guy.
Einstein destroyed
text.
He also likes to claim that Einstein said that atheists cannot possibly be scientists.
Yeah.
And I think I have no idea, and I honestly don't care if Einstein said that.
Right there.
But if he did, then it would probably mean something like somebody who thinks he already has all the answers can't be a scientist.
I don't know.
And not atheist.
They misrepresent and quote mine Einstein all the time. There's that quote about the eye. They cut out the second half of it all the time, where he's... there's the quote about where he, it was either Einstein or somebody else, the scientists towards the end of their life, made some kind of comment about how, sometimes I wonder if maybe it was Darwin. Sometimes I wonder if maybe I wasted my life.
Darwin.
And then the second half of it says something to the effect of, and every time I think that I realize, no, I didn't, that this is
Yes.
And I always give the first half of the quote, Christians do, but they don't give the second half.
So it was Darwin, and the second part is where he says that the fact that so many people have validated his theory assures him that he did not.
Yeah.
It's like it's like I believe myself, but maybe I'm wrong. But then I see that other people, so many people, smart people, accept my theory. He was a very humble person.
And Matt Powell, whose new movie we just got done reviewing yesterday.
Oh,
fifth episode of doing that, fifth or sixth, I can't even remember. But early in his movie, he did that. He put the first half of that quote up for Darwin as if it meant something and left out the second half of it.
That's called quote mining. Christians do it a lot.
Do you know the one about
the have to remember about Joel is that this is the guy who literally got banned from Wikipedia for making the most asinine statements about Einstein and what he believed that he could not provide either primary or secondary sources to back up. And one of the mods, even on Wikipedia, even said that the sources he tried to cite literally say the exact opposite of what Joel was saying that they said. So he got banned, and now it says Wikipedia is just this evil atheist liberal.
Oh, you froze.
Did I lose just him or everybody? Yeah, just him.
No, great. I'll take the opportunity of Leo freezing, and I'll mention that we know that Einstein said something to the spirit of I believe in Spinoza's God.
I'm such a prick, man. I have to share this with you guys. As soon as you said, I'll take the opportunity of Leo freezing, my mind said, Yeah, because you don't ever get any opportunity to talk, Manny. That's what my
I know, right?
fucking with
I know.
John, didn't you guys didn't not go over some of SFB mod stuff? Joel, was that on Knox channel the other day?
Well, you just were talking about him like yesterday, weren't you?
No, but somebody else went over his stuff yesterday, I think.
I don't know, what was this? Somebody did put out. Weren't you the one to put out the triggering of SFB mod?
No, that was somebody else. Who the hell was that? I gotta find that.
I think maybe, I don't know. Well, was it not?
As regards Einstein, he was definitely anti-religion, absolutely anti-religion. That there's no arguing that one. He found it stupid. Whether he believed in God or not is open to interpretation at best.
He was sort of what you could consider deistic / pandeistic.
Maybe not.
He said he believed in Spinoza's God, and that's what Spinoza's God was. It wasn't a God in the sense of what Christians believe or Hindus or anything. It was it's this pantheistic, pandeistic type of God that wasn't really a God by any classical definition.
So when it comes to Spinoza, I'll just make it clear that Spinoza was basically, something like a deist, and he believed in God as rules, as math, as nature, and he was a heretic according to Judaism. He was ostracized by the Jews. He was excommunicated. That they also changed his name, everything. He had to leave his community. He was like really excommunicated, which is a serious thing in Judaism. You don't get excommunicated. It just doesn't happen. So that's a serious crime. So Einstein could not be considered definitely not religious and not a God believer in the sense that these people are trying to imply. Like, no. Just no. He believed in order. One of his famous quotes is, God is not playing dice with the universe.
Yeah.
Yes, that was his objection to the fundamental indeterminacy of quantum mechanics, which Einstein absolutely resented.
Yeah, because he had absolutely no problem with using the word God to refer to the complexity of the universe. And Einstein had a religious reverence for the physical world, natural.
Exactly. He said that. I think he wrote it to some girl. He said that a scientist becomes reverential towards the whole of the universe and towards scientific laws, and not towards a deity, as religions do.
I just found this for some reason. When I searched for SFB mod, this came up. A corporal fantasy. Einstein's God is wholly different from the God of Christianity. His God is the God of Spinoza, and similar to the God of Eastern religions. Which
I
is
don't even know if I would say it that far.
It's all of the universe, basically, is what. So Spinoza had to be very careful in how he wrote, or he would have been burned at the stake, or he would have lost his whatever income he had. So Spinoza, I mean, people have written probably about 500 books trying to figure out what the fuck Spinoza was saying.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody yet has quite figured it out. So kind of like Wittgenstein. We're still working.
What did you just say?
Wittgenstein?
Wittgenstein, yeah.
Jesus, you fucking Americans are so bad at pronouncing names.
Oh, I don't give a fuck.
Like they ever said Heisenberg uncertainty principle, and I'm like, Heisenberg?
I don't know what the fuck you mean by that, Leophilius.
Oh my god.
And every other Christian thinks it's Theophilus and then calls you Leophilus.
It's Leophilus, yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I always use, Leophilus. I'm like, wow, you guys really don't see that second eye, do you?
No, it's because of the name Theophilus.
I don't know what that name is.
It's from whenever the whole mythicism thing comes up, they quote, I think, Tacitus or something, and a historian writing to somebody else called Theophilus.
I don't know why
so that name comes up in Christian circles.
There was a fucking video that came out in the last few days. It's called The Triggering of SFB Mod.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it.
I can't find it either. I searched it, but then I also went to my notifications to, figuring it was a notification from.
Yeah, I got it on one of my channels.
Brenda had something with him recently. Could it be on Brenda's channel? Maybe.
I'm not. What do you call? Subscribe to her channel. So.
Okay, I'll find it here. Let me see if I can switch over.
I've gone back 4 fucking days already.
Oh, it's Todd. Todd wants in. Who's Todd want?
I'm just here to give. It was actually Jay's channel what the video came from. I was looking forward to watching it, and Jay had a because I was going to watch it this morning and comment on it because I saw it happen on the replay.
That's right. Yeah, I tried to watch it. Yeah, because
I don't remember how long ago it was.
I wanted to watch it too. I was a little bit upset.
It was yesterday.
No, it wasn't even yesterday. It was early.
It was last night. Yeah. Oh yeah.
This morning.
Well, then the video hasn't been uploaded yet because I don't see it on his channel.
No, he made it prior.
After he did it, because I got up, I was going to go in there, and I was like, "Fuck it," I hadn't had my coffee yet.
Yeah, I think.
And then I went to check it out later, and it was private.
Yeah, it was moved. So you must have shut it down for some reason.
If you want a nice SFB mod debate on Brenda's channel, there's Otangelo and Joel car alarms.
You guys can watch it. I can give you a timestamp of when he loses it, just to be a little bit helpful.
When who loses it?
Kind of watching it.
SFB Mod.
Yeah, on Praise's channel because it was last night on Praise's.
Was that the same stream that Speed had up already?
He flips. I don't know. Yeah,
Did he flip out like in the stream or in the comments?
He flipped out on Jay or something in the stream. Like it was funny, and I didn't get the full context of it, but yeah, because I remember I was watching it. It's about around the 10-hour mark, like legit at the 10-hour mark, almost probably exactly right there, and he just starts going off on Jay. It's quite funny.
Yeah, I still have it in my fucking notifications from 12 hours ago on my mobile.
I got John Mad Max to rage quit on his channel.
The triggering of SFB Mod, and then you click on it and it says it's private.
God damn it.
Yeah,
John,
I wanted to watch it.
You said something about the new Matt Powell movie that you did a review on?
Yeah, we've been reviewing it for like the last 2 weeks. We did like 5 or 6 episodes reviewing it. And the reason it took us so long, it's only like an hour and 5-minute movie, but it took us that long to review it because you had to stop the movie every 20 seconds because every 20 seconds something fucking totally stupid was said.
Yeah, Vice is doing one on that as well. He's doing a series on it. I haven't watched yours. Where? Nagatsuki channel?
On Raid.
Okay.
I caught the ending of that, of the octopus on the comment, and I could not believe that it was actually there. And I was like, what the hell? That is insane, man. Like, I'm so glad I'm not near that group. Like, that's just
alien
crazy.
Octopi?
Yeah.
You guys believe that octopi are alien? Yeah.
Well, no,
they believe that shit.
So they brought up the fact that there is this hypothesis about, because octopi are so much, outside the norm of other biology, I guess, that one of the, like basically a form of panspermia, that, the original DNA that became octopi came in from outer space.
Oh, that's fucking bad.
Okay, but then these guys were sitting around, like in the movie, there's several sections where they're all sitting around in their suits at a table that's just out in the middle of the woods somewhere.
Right.
In the
middle of an orchard.
And then so they were sitting there talking about it as if they actually were talking about it as if they thought the hypothesis was that an octopus literally rode in through the atmosphere on a fucking asteroid.
Right, inside of an asteroid somehow.
Right, and then
became enemies.
The movie, and at the end, here, let me finish my sentence first, then you can. Okay, yeah, and so at the end of the movie, they had two pictures, cartoon pictures. One was referring back to the monkey on a raft hypothesis.
Yep.
They had a monkey on a raft, and then they had a picture of an asteroid with an actual full-grown octopus on it riding in through the atmosphere.
What's the monkey on a raft?
We have a question here. Who is claiming that hypothesis about the octopus? Basically, what happened is a bunch of nutters got together. They're these nutter scientists, and a couple of them are like brothers, and they've been pushing this bullshit about some kind of super panspermia for a lot of years. They wrote a paper, and they had like 20. There were about maybe 15 of them on the paper, and Dennis Noble, who was the editor on this scientific journal, allowed it to pass. And he got a great deal of criticism for this. But Dennis Noble is somebody that's trying to think out of the box. He also engages with Perry Marshall. And Dennis Noble is kind of like, he's getting really old and he's kind of like slipping over the edge a little bit. But I mean, he's a brilliant man. And his point is that we need to revamp our ideas about evolution, which has nothing to do with throwing out evolution. He just wants the extended synthesis. Anyway, so it was a big fucking fiasco. And now the Christians are talking about this like it's in biology books. Like everybody agrees with this crazy ass paper that came out. And they sit around and laugh about it. And it's just fucking ridiculous because nobody believes that paper should have been published. Except for the few that wrote it.
And you know, the other funny thing is, like, when you talk about the monkey on the raft hypothesis, you know, to how they got around the planet, it's so funny because, like, in the beginning of the movie, they're denouncing that as crazy and talking about it, like you just said, as if it's like mainstream science that's being taught in school and shit. And then later in the movie, they mentioned where DNA or bones or whatever of primates were found on, vegetation rafts or whatever, and where that would talking about that as if that was evidence for the global flood. So they were ruling it out on one hand,
right?
But then when it fit their narrative, then they were, saying that it was a legitimate thing.
Well, what is their model about how the monkeys got to South America? Did they jump on the continent before the continent zoomed across the ocean? I thought the continents were like moving for it, starting with the flood. The continents separated and then started, like South America was zooming, I think at a mile an hour or something, over to where it is now. In 1 year, it got there. So what the fuck is their hypothesis about how the monkey got from Noah's Ark to South America if it wasn't rafting?
Yeah, I mean, unless
what is there?
Noah was offering some kind of ride sharing thing, like maybe he tooled around the whole planet dropping animals off before
he could have. Well, actually, no. They claim that the boat crashed on Mount Ararat and then all the animals jumped off and went to wherever they were. But they would have had a fucking raft over to South America, unless you want to believe that they ran all the way through Europe and Asia and up and crossed over on the non-existent bridge because that wasn't there anymore. I don't know what the fuck they think.
Could they have flown with volcanoes, maybe?
Well, the Wizard of Oz had those monkeys that flew.
No. Don't you know the kangaroos and koalas shot out of volcanoes theory to get to Australia?
And they think octopus on asteroids are ridiculous?
Oh, I got one. I got a crazy one. Icebergs. They hopped from iceberg to iceberg from the oceans, and that's how they did it. There you go. Okay. Icebergs.
Yeah.
Bam.
Yeah. Sure. Why not?
Yeah. They probably ate algae off the icebergs because there was a little bit of algae on them. So
sure, I don't know.
This is where it's at points like these that I have this weird appreciation for Mr. Batman, who simply says, God has provided. And he doesn't come up with any bullshit hypothesis.
Right.
He just says that God did it, and that's it.
Yeah, and then he sang for 20 minutes, didn't he?
What the hell is Stephanie going on about today? What
I
the
don't know, man. Like I'll tell you what. If you ever need an ellipses for anything, just go to one of her comments. And
Look! It's Stephanie. It's the one from yesterday with the Big Bang. What is she saying? That's the one with Big Bang and capitalism. What is she on about today?
I don't know.
She's on about octagon, as in something about the octopi.
Well, the octopus or the spider. 2x4 candles, full candles, a zero with a twist. Okay, we gotta meet this person.
Our world is the kind of octagon.
I want the kind of fucking, no, I want those mushrooms. Whatever the hell she's munching.
I don't think it's mushrooms because I've done mushrooms. Fair amount of time. I've never.
Oh, I love this Nephilium. Said carnivora ate rabbits. What?
What the fuck is Nephilium? What does that mean?
Nephilim free. Nephilium.
But they said Nephilium, not Nephilim.
Well, yeah, it's a play on words.
I know, I'm fucking with you guys.
Leo. Yeah, okay, good. I'm glad you're fucking, because I was going to send you some medication. I've got some good shit.
Well, what is it?
So I want Stephanie to elaborate on exactly what kind of octagon our world is. The specific kind of octagon.
Stephanie says, ignore me. I'm mad. The forces just say, and I leave. No, we don't want you. Nobody wants you to leave.
No.
Stephanie.
We like you, Stephanie. We love your poetry. You're our resident poet.
We just wish you would. We just wish that you would come and share the absinthe with us.
The only thing I disagree with is you can't chop down a tree with a hammer. Like you can if it's a sturdy enough hammer and the size of the tree. Really, all depends. But if you really want it, you could chop it down with a hammer. You got to beat it.
Is it an octagon?
What do you mean by hammer? Because I mean, isn't an axe just a hammer for
a sharp
hammering down trees?
That's what I know.
Have hammers on the other side, so yeah. I mean, plus we had like a 25-pound sledge.
Okay. Paint thinner in a bag.
I actually did that once as a kid. That was pretty stupid.
You'd need paint thinner and a bag. You know, that's one of the craziest things. Old roommate of mine, oh my God, and this was 20 years ago or more. He would huff gasoline.
Yeah.
And he would get fucked up too. Like it just fucked him the fuck up. Like
I do appreciate the smell of gasoline, though. It does have a nice smell to it.
Did it fuck him up? Did it fuck him the fuck up, or did it fuck him all the fucking way the fuck up?
Just like
I love the smell of gasoline.
I just want to point out that all the huffing stuff usually causes actual brain damage.
Yeah, when we were like 15, 16 years old, there were these two brothers, and they were like, I don't know, 11 and 12 or something like that. And they got into the fucking glue. And these kids blew their fucking brains out. I mean, they were just, I swear, permanent brain damage. And we had this other guy, what the hell did we call him? I forget what the fuck we called him. But he was like bleak. His brain was totally fried. And he would sit around and pour wine through his fingers and laugh and look at it. And like he never said anything coherent. He just completely blew his mind out with glue. What the hell did we called him?
The pretty colors. Oh, they are so pretty as they dance.
It was absolutely amazing.
Did you guys call him Elmer because of the glue?
Yeah, we call him, I don't know, sniffers or I don't know.
Elmer. That's hilarious. I'm sorry. That was good, John.
So, something Leo said made me think of this. So, I was looking at comments on the video where they had reviewed DD coming on the channel, and somebody was like, "Oh man, this was hilarious! You got him. All the shit he does, you did it. Oh my God, you got even right down to the listen, dude." And I'm like, "What? Listen, dude? What are you talking about?" So apparently, at one point, Leo, when DD was like talking. I was just kept talking, wouldn't let him talk. I said, "Listen, dude," and apparently that's like one of the things he always says. Like,
yeah. Listen, dude.
Listen, dude. I fucking said it without even realizing it,
dude.
I'm a Tom Rabbit.
So one time we had this crazy party at our farmhouse, and there were just tons of drunken guys in my house, and they were tearing the house apart and fucking riding a motorcycle around the kitchen and shit. And I was cowering by this refrigerator in this little cranny, and I was reading, and I was just sitting there like cowering, right, waiting for these people to leave my house. And this bleat comes up to me, and he gets right in my face, and he looks at me and he says, "No one here is going to hurt you." And I fucking freaked out. It was just like, that was the first time it occurred to me that my life was seriously in danger. And then my 100 or 97 pound 4'11" ex-wife came home, and she started screaming at these guys, and they all ran out of the house. It was fucking amazing.
Did you just say your 437 pound wife?
No, 97 pound wife.
Oh, I was like, holy shit.
97 pounds. She was 4'11", and she came home and she started screaming at these guys, and these guys just ran out of the house like with terror in their eyes. I mean, she was something when she got mad.
She looks like agnostic pagan mom changed her name.
What? Nihilistic with a grin.
I was gonna say, Speed. My future wife is also very small.
Very small. Yeah, on a TV screen, right?
Oh, what
No.
do you mean you're gonna marry a marmoset?
I don't know what a marmoset is.
It's something very tiny.
Oh,
you should have been able to infer that from the
nihilistic with a grin. Did I stick the invite thing in the chat? I can't remember.
A long time ago, yeah.
Because we don't care who the hell comes in here today. I just can't. We got to make sure these things don't go over 2 hours, because I have a life. Well, not really, but I got other shit I got to do.
Yeah, so, and since I have to get up at 5:30. I'm gonna say bye to you people.
Well, what is it like? What it's like 10 or 11 where you're at right now?
It's 11:10.
Oh my god.
11:10 a.m. or p.m.
PM.
PM. Are you in
Central?
Which time zone are you in?
Israeli Standard Time. That's +2.
Plus 2. I don't plus. What do you mean +2?
GMT plus
from Greenwich, from 0, from GMT.
Well, wait, that makes no sense, because, like, from the perspective of you guys, like, GMT, like the United Kingdom and whatnot, is right here. Isn't Israel like back this way? Wouldn't that be -2?
What?
Wait,
Leo?
no, hold on.
Leo?
No, that would be
+2. Dissing on Americans.
No. The Earth is spinning this way. Wow, I'm dumb.
Leo, you were dissing on Americans with their pronunciation, and now you're getting geography? Like,
I'm not a geographist. I'm not a geographist.
UTC.
Yeah, but
I don't
another pronunciationist.
The only difference is in Israel, instead of 2 o'clock, they call it Jew o'clock.
So do they call it Tuesday Tuesday?
Yeah,
or?
Yeah, good fake laughter, Manny.
Tuesday.
It's and when we sneeze, we go "adieu," right?
Oh.
Yeah, and Speed commented that before I left last night, he wanted me to tell my Santa Claus joke. So before I leave, what is the difference between Santa Claus and a Jew?
Santa Claus actually gives things to people?
No, but that's not bad, actually. Thank you. Yeah, Jews are considered miserly, right? No, the difference is that Santa goes down a chimney, Jew goes up. Anyway.
I don't get it.
Terrible.
Damn.
I don't get it at all.
I know you don't, Leo.
It's a Holocaust joke, Leo.
Yeah.
It's okay, Leo.
What?
It's a Holocaust joke.
How the fuck?
Okay, Leo.
What?
Well, when you put people in the oven.
I was just about to say. Oh, I suppose when you're burning that's too.
Yeah, crematorium.
Yeah.
If you want to understand how Holocaust humor works, true story, we were looking to buy an incinerator for our factory to burn like gas and shit. And when we contacted an American company, a German company, and asked them about incinerators, they corrected us. They're not called incinerators, they're called thermal converters. Okay, so yeah, Germans don't sell incinerators to Israel.
And you do know, like, when they pick a new pope and they got all the different colored smokes and stuff like that for that, like, that's just, the way they make the different colored smoke is by burning a different variety of human beings.
Oh, do you know about the one where Hitler is walking through Auschwitz and suddenly he stops and he sniffs and he goes, "Are we making caramel today?" And they say, "No, sir, diabetic juice, sir."
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Did you really say
love
caramel?
Holocaust jokes.
Oh my god.
I love Holocaust jokes, and since I'm Jewish, I'm allowed to tell them. And hey, you're not.
Wait, so hold on. I have a question. Are you Jewish or are you Semitic? Because there's a difference.
Well, I was I'm circumcised. I had a bar mitzvah, and I was raised on like Jewish traditions. And being Israeli sort of like means that you're Jewish as well.
Do you still have your foreskin in a jar somewhere?
No, that's only for like if you want to cast all kinds of spells, then you keep them. Like if you want to get married, then you hide your foreskin under the woman's bed, and then she has to marry you.
There's this dude that he's either Australian or I think he's British. Is there a comedian named Andy Carr or something Carr?
There is.
Yeah, somebody.
Something Carr, and he tells this joke, he goes, and he lets the audience know before he tells it, that it's like the worst joke. But that's just his shtick. He tells like really fucking horrible jokes. He said that he was all for the mosquito nets in Africa charity, because the more mosquito nets you put up in Africa, then they could save millions of mosquitoes every year dying from AIDS. What the fuck?
Oh, that's good.
Man, you're laughing a little too hard at that one, buddy.
But that was really funny.
Yeah, I mean, when he told it, I laughed my ass off too.
So I can tell you about foreskins. Like, there's this Israeli movie about.
You don't have to though.
No, but really, it's really nice. There's this Israeli movie about the people from Georgia, and
I thought you were gonna say there was this Jewish movie about foreskins and getting circumcised.
Well,
wait a minute! Everybody's up in arms over it. It's called Cuddies.
Yeah. No. So they're trying to marry off their daughter, and whenever some suitor comes to call, like after he goes out, her mother goes to her bedroom and takes out a foreskin from under the bed that he hid there and adds it to the collection of foreskins in her room from people trying to cast a love spell on her daughter. And she has the whole collection of foreskins from all the people that came before, because that's a Georgian superstition.
So, you're talking about the country, Georgia?
Well, since it was a Jewish story, I thought you were going to say, that her parents were trying to marry her off, but her brother wasn't going for it.
Oh, yeah, we have those.
I'm just kidding.
Do you know the one about having to marry your brother-in-law, like getting impregnated by him? Are you familiar with that one?
Well, there was only the one time that I got impregnated by my brother-in-law.
No, so Onan, the whole masturbating thing, onanism. Onan had to impregnate his dead brother's wife, and he decided that instead of impregnating her, he's gonna masturbate instead. And God killed him, and no one's allowed to masturbate ever since.
See what happened? You talk about a masturbating brother-in-law, and there goes Todd.
Well, yeah, but that's why you're not allowed to masturbate, because of Onan. So if you ever wondered why masturbation is not allowed, that's it.
Who says masturbation's not allowed?
Judaism, Christianity, Islam. Hello?
What?
You know? Have you ever?
So all the ones that don't matter.
What do you
actually
do?
I rubbed out 3 just since I came.
What are you supposed to do if you can't masturbate? You're supposed to go out and have fucking procreate? Is that?
Yeah. You either procreate or you don't. That's it.
Do you procreate like randomly and wildly without asking anybody?
No.
This seems like a bad fucking idea.
Do you guys realize that when my brother, who's ultra orthodox, got married, they actually brought out a bloody sheet to show us?
Oh my god!
At my brother's wedding.
Oh my god!
I had to see the sheet.
Wait a minute! They wouldn't bang one out during the wedding.
They have, when you have a Jewish wedding, there's like this conjugational room set aside, and even if you're secular, you usually have that. But secular people, we fucked already, so we just go there, we sit there for a while, we have a good laugh. But if you are ultra orthodox, then you do actually have sex for the first time, and you bring out a bloody sheet, and they show it to all the guests, and some rabbi inspects it and approves that this is indeed a bloody sheet. This actually happened in front of my very eyes. So,
shit, if they're going to do that, why don't they just bang right in front of you? And
this happened like in the fucking 21st century or the 20th century?
That was still I think it was still the 20. No, it was the 21st, definitely.
Oh my god!
I already met my wife by then, so yeah, that was the 2005.
Okay, that's why I'm an anti-theist.
Is Todd talking about fishing?
What?
No, I'm talking about mastering the bait in Minnesota.
Yeah, like master bait, like he must be talking about fishing, like
in land of
stroking the dolphin, shooting tadpoles at the moon.
In the land of 10,000 lakes, we master the bait at an early age.
Do you also choke the monkey?
No,
we don't have chickens in Minnesota.
We choke the chicken.
Oh,
yeah, we choke chickens in Minnesota.
You choke chickens? No, you choke monkeys.
I literally choke chickens when I was I used to spin them around and then cut their heads off.
Yeah. I worked at a chicken house. Do you know how many chickens I've killed in my lifetime?
Yeah, you're a chicken killer. It's better than a chicken fucker. Chicken killers are a notch above the chicken fucker.
Yeah, but basically you don't choke them. You break their necks. It's really easy to do. And
we just cut their heads off.
Oh, that's just cruel. But on the other hand, sometimes when you try to break their neck, their head does come off in your hands, which is kind of,
They run around after you cut their heads off. It's amazing that they can run around for like 3 or 4 loops before they actually fall down.
Oh, there's a South Park episode about financial crisis.
We need a chicken and a kazoo, guys.
Exactly, that one.
Bail out! Bail out!
Bail out!
They also said that back in France, when they used to guillotine people, that
At least you
the
pronounce
brain
it right.
was alive long enough to where they could look back up and see their body from the basket.
I've never checked this, but I've heard that if you cut off a cockroach's head, since it doesn't have a central nervous system, it will eventually die of starvation, basically. I've never checked if this is actually true, though, so don't take my word for it, but it is this one of these facts that go around.
So
I really have to go. Bye-bye.
Goodbye. I have a heartwarming parenting story for anybody who, loves their children and stuff. When I was, my daughter was 4 years old, or probably, I think she was about 4. We lived on a farm, and I went out to kill a chicken for dinner. And she was in the house. And so I went out and I cut this chicken's head off, and she had come out of the house and it started running, and it ran right into her. Headless chicken ran into my 4-year-old daughter, and she screamed and she ran in the house.
Oh, geez.
And I asked her a couple of years ago, it's like, do you remember that? No, she totally blacked it out of her memory, but I think it had a fuck of a lot to do with why she was so nervous as an adult.
Did she
But,
eat chicken?
I was horrified. I mean, God, this is something a father does not want to do to his kid, really. But shit, I thought she was in the house. Anyway,
Did she eat chicken?
she ate the chicken. Well, she would. Yeah, she ate chicken. I don't know if she ate that night though. She may have been huddled in her bed, screaming and crying. I'm not sure. I can't remember.
My dad and me went fishing one time and caught a bunch of perch, and then he brought them home, and he had this for whatever reason it was a clear bucket, and we had all these perch in them. And he was at the kitchen sink, and the bucket was up on the counter, and he was taking them out one at a time and chopping their heads off and cleaning them up and everything. And the whole time, my little sister's like messing around. Yeah, I'm going to keep this one. I'm going to call him whatever.
Oh, no.
And then all of a sudden, my dad grabs that one.
Oh, the poor kids.
Yeah.
I had a dream about eating fish last night. I kind of want fish now.
I remember my father killing the cow and me watching from the farmhouse window when I was 4 years old, and it just freaked me the fuck out. And I remember that the cow shit after it died, and that freaked me out even more. But that's like one of my earliest memories growing up on the fucking farm.
Alrighty, guys, I gotta head out. I gotta go eat some food. I'm fucking hungry.
Okay, we all got to head out soon here.
Alrighty, peace.
Make like a fetus and head out.
Yeah.
Sure. I thought you were gonna make an abortion joke, but I guess not.
That's I mean, if it's aborted, it doesn't matter if it's feet first or head first.
No, it doesn't. Anyways, I'm out of here, guys. Peace out.
Okay, bye.
And the only reason I ever make gross abortion jokes is just because I know it triggers the fucking people that are anti-choice so much.
Do you know what I love to do when I argue with a pro-lifer about abortion?
What's that?
I always go like, okay, I always try to come at them from the angle that the child is not really conscious and doesn't have memories until it's 1 year old. So I want to move it like, not to fuck this first and second trimester shit. I want to move it all the way up to 1 year. And so I start arguing from that position, and by the time I'm done with them, they think first trimester's okay. It's like I compromise. It's like when you're selling a car, right? If you want to sell a car for $10,000, you ask 12, right? And you just negotiate down. So I do that with pro-lifers.
My thing is, first of all, I don't even really like getting into that discussion, but I have many times. I grant the premise right from the beginning. Yep, as soon as that sperm hits the egg and the egg attaches to the uterine wall, it's a human being. Right from then, I'll grant that premise. But the fact of the matter is, it's a human being that is depending on another human being for survival.
Sucking the life out of another.
Right. And that human being has a right to do whatever they want with their body, which includes not taking the inherent risk in bringing a fetus to term. I don't necessarily, deny that it's the taking of life, because it is. It's taking of a goddamn life. But like you said, they're not really, I don't want to say not conscious, but they're not, I guess they're not fully conscious until like a year old. Like they don't know what the hell's going on. And then you can't say to a woman, well, damn it, you've got to bring that baby to term.
Right.
You can't do that.
I like the Buddhist position that there really is no such thing as a human being. So I don't know that there is no defining point where you become life, or where life ends because you really don't exist at all. Kind of not in the sense we like to think. So Ian Chen is sending me messages and listening to this broadcast and getting off on the fact that he can hear the ping when I get a message from him.
I wondered what that was. I was like thinking, and then you started talking about Buddhism, and I thought, okay, so Speed's got one of those bells over there. He keeps ringing every now and then.
Yeah, I keep hitting the bell. Yeah, no, it's Ian Chen. He's out at under palm trees at some fucking amazing resort in Australia.
Oh, and he just said bye.
Oh, it's not actually silent. It's for some reason it only pings on the first message, and then so you can't keep pinging my fucking belly. And
I heard the phone a few times.
Yeah. That's because I didn't have him selected. So if you don't have if you have him selected, you can't see it.
Yeah, I don't even know what this means.
Ian says bye, Leo. What means?
Okay, but I don't understand. Stephanie, you're gonna have to explain that to me.
Stephanie, okay, which one?
She says the people who know where you come from, John, they see. What is it they see, Stephanie? Understand. They understand. Someone argue on that point.
Okay, Stephanie's gotten too high.
Huh?
Too many mushrooms.
Something. I mean, it's just a series of incomplete thoughts. ... Every time I sleep now, I dream about ...
Okay. There's more. Two people creating a child starts from the point of conception. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, so she's talking about abortion.
Yeah. They understand what? I don't understand. They understand.
They don't understand anything until they get out of the womb. Like my first science experiment was.
Try this sometime. They understand. Now forget the ... and like add some more words to it. Like flesh out your thought. like flesh out your thought. Like,
that's the way Stephanie rolls.
I guess.
Okay, she's a resident poet. God damn it.
What I'm saying, the people who know you understand what you say. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. I would go further and say that there's people that don't know me that can understand what I say.
Sometimes. Ian Chen. So Ian Chen. Oh, now confirmed Saturday, January 9th. Ian Chen is going to debate Nephilim Free on, I think, God and Creation or something like that. Pretty cool. God. It'll be his first debate. It's going to be excellent. Ian.
Hey, that's cool because I think it may, depending on the outcome, it may be Nephilim Free's first debate as well.
Yeah. Nephilim Free, my goodness.
I mean, Nephilim Free is.
You have my support, Ian. We're going to have an after show on our channel right after that. So, and holy shit, January 9th, 8 p.m. Okay, so that is 7 p.m. my time. That's good. We can have an after show. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a great debate. Probably one of the greatest debates, I think.
Yeah, I can't get on board with that because Nephilim Free is taking part.
Well, I think Ian can handle him. I don't know. I'm not sure. We'll see.
Well, and I don't mean any disrespect to Ian, but I think you could pretty much go pick a random person off the street and they could handle Nephilim free.
Well, I don't know. Nephilim was calling us all cowards again last night. I almost got on his stream because they were going off in the early part about what the fuck were they talking about? Evolution. And they were just being so goddamn irrational. And I almost got on there because I thought maybe if Nephilim would shut the fuck up for a few minutes and let me talk, that I could have made a point with who the hell was on Itzbitsky, Daniel Itzbitsky or something. Itzbitsky.
Now look at Stephanie's latest comment.
Where's Stephanie's latest? The people. Oh, I haven't seen it yet. It hasn't popped up on StreamYard yet.
Yeah, it does. It says the people who don't know you, they think you're a twat. That's what I'm saying. Well, if they don't know me, how could they make the fucking assessment that I'm a twat?
I think it's a default position. I don't know. Anyway, so I think we're going to kill this thing. What do you think? Go have some dinner?
What, are you getting hungry now too? I already ate my food. I just ate fucking Christmas Day leftovers. I fucking ate a profuse amount of ham and
we had
potatoes and
16-pound ham,
homemade applesauce. Well, so check it out. So there's this place that's all they do is ham, right?
Yeah.
And my sister and my brother are always buying shit from there. So he went and got one ham and these scalloped potatoes that filled like 1.5 small size crock pots that we had. Okay. How much was that?
That's a lot.
Well, no, I'm just saying, how much do you think that cost?
Oh, well, if it's anything like the ham we bought, about $150.
Yeah, it was $130 for one ham and some scalloped potatoes, which, by the way, they added 2 bags of shredded cheese to. And I'm just like, what the fuck? I could feed myself for a month on $130. Yeah. Like, I would never pay that for a ham.
Yeah, we bought a 16-pound ham for $80 from Von Hansen's meat market, but it is fucking worth it because it tastes better than any ham you'll get. So,
yeah, I mean, this ham was good too, but it was still ham. Like,
yeah, well, you know, pig's got to die. Pig got to die for that.
Yeah, well, fuck that pig. It ain't worth $100. The whole pig ain't worth $100 as far as I'm concerned.
Some pigs are like computer consultants. You got to pay them more.
Well, no, Ian, there was scalloped potatoes part of the 130, but yeah.
Yeah, I go to this Von Hansen's meat market and I order it's about a 3.5 pound porterhouse steak. It is 2.5 inches thick.
All right. I
call it a porter roast.
All right.
And then go cook it on the grill and I eat it pretty rare. Man, is that good. Like real 2.5 inches is a lot.
You eat the whole 3.5 pounds yourself in one sitting?
No, it takes me. I have a real small stomach for some reason. It takes me like all day to eat something, to eat dinner. I'll start eating dinner at like 5 o'clock, and I'll end eating dinner at about 11 or 12 a.m.
Right.
Because I just can't. My son, man, he could eat a 3-pound steak though, but the 3-pound porterhouse or porter roast is awesome. Anyway. Okay, I'm gonna leave the stream. We'll see you guys out there. We're gonna end this thing. Hope I accomplished something today, but I can't remember what the fuck it was. Talking about anti-theism, I guess.
Bye, Stephanie.
Goodbye, Stephanie. Goodbye, Ian. Goodbye, Nihilistic with a grin. Whatever your new name. Later. Ending broadcast.